How you doing?
All right, so what do we got here?
A couple of World War I knives. Very cool too, by the way.
Yeah, these are some badass knives. Can you imagine getting, like, hammered in the face with this?
Oh, I like this one better where you can, this is called a skull buster. You get whacked in the head and then they punch you and they slice your neck. I like that. Coming into the pawn shop today to try to sell my knives, my cool, antique World War I knives.
So where did you get these things?
This one I got from an estate sale probably about 2 or 3 years ago. This one I got from another estate sale probably about a year later.
So do you know anything about them, or?
Not really. World War I, that's all I know.
Well, I can definitely tell you it's pre-World War II because it's pretty common to find knuckle guards on weapons like this. You have to understand, they jump in that trench, it was no rifle going, it was punch, stab, punch, stab. And that's just the way they fought. This knife predates World War II because this type of blade was banned right after the Geneva Convention.
Why is that?
Well, you see, it was the Geneva Convention that you had to have a standard blade, so when they cut you with it, they could just stitch you up.
Isn't stabbing? Does it really matter? I mean, really seriously, does it matter?
According to the Geneva Convention, you are not allowed to have a knife with more than 2 sides on it, because when you have 3 sides on it, it's not a clean wound. And it's very hard to stitch up, and it's much more likely to get an infection. The problem with this one says USA right here. However, I have never heard of the US government issuing a blade like this. This one looks completely authentic. The problem is, I've never heard of the maker Lion. What do you want to do with these? Pawn them or sell them?
Well, I mean, if the money's right, I'd like to sell them.
Okay. I'd really like to get these knives, but just like in any other business, make an uninformed decision, you're gonna lose money.
So how do you authenticate these things?
I have a friend, he's an expert in military knives. I'd like to set up an appointment with you. You can come back, he'll take a look at them, he'll tell us what they're worth, and maybe we can make a deal.
Sounds good.
All right. These are the World War I knives I called you about?
All right.
I would like to know the story behind these knives. First of all, how they were made, where they were made, blah, 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 like that. But, I mean, I want to see, I just really want to know exactly what they're worth.
What are your concerns with them?
All right, the one you're holding here, there's a brand on the blade that says Lion, and I've never heard of them. The problem I have with this one, I never even heard of the US having a blade like this.
My name's Dean, and I'm an expert in antique U.S. military edged weapons. So this one is called a Mark I trench knife. And 1918 is when they were first manufactured by Allion, a French manufacturer, and any infantryman would be issued this knife if he were going into theater where they were fighting in the trenches. And if you can imagine being punched in the face with one of these, it would disable you, and that was the intent. So that's it for the 1918 Allion.
Okay.
Right? This particular knife, if it is original, should have a triangular blade, and it does. This knife was actually the first military knife consigned during World War I. And it is so named the 1917-1918 trench knife. Now, this particular knife is manufactured by the American Cutlery Company. And the primary specification in that which is quoted is that it must have the capability of penetrating the German trench coats.
The term trench coat comes from World War I because it was trench warfare. They were thick wool jackets. Not only would wool jackets keep you warm when it was wet, it was also extremely difficult to pierce with a normal knife.
The military wanted a knife, a weapon that would penetrate that trench coat, and this was the design that came
I
out.
imagine it's like a giant ice pick.
I told you it was cool, man.
So the big question, how much are they worth?
Well, the 1918 Allion is a pretty rare manufacturer. The one thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it's been covered with varnish.
People are constantly destroying the value of their antiques because all of a sudden they're restoration experts. Don't do it.
I would value this at about $175.
I can't see that having varnish on it brings it down, and that really disappoints me because I thought it was worth a lot more money, being they're 90 years old.
The American Cutlery knife, it's in really nice shape. It's probably a $225 to $250 knife.
Okay. Thanks for coming in,
Oh,
Dave.
Rick, I appreciate it. As always, it's a pleasure.
All right,
Thank
It
thanks.
was
you
great
very
to
much.
meet you,
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Now I know a lot more about the knives, and I know what they're worth. Only thing is now, what am I gonna have to pay for them? So what do you want for them?
I'd like to see $350.
Dean said these were worth $475. And basically what I can do is 250.
Too low. Can you go 350?
Best I can do is 250.
Nah, I can't do that. Can you 300? Can you at least give me 300 for him?
251.
You know what, forget it.
It's just a matter of economics.
No, I understand. I'm gonna keep him.
All right. Sorry we couldn't do business. Thanks for coming in, man.
Not a problem, thank you very much. You know what, I'm just gonna keep him at home and just enjoy him for a while, and my daughter can have him later on in life. I don't care, but I'm not selling him for $251. He can kiss my butt.
What can I help you with?
I have this signed picture.
Benjamin Harrison. Hey, Corey. It's like your great-great-uncle twice removed from your second cousin.
Do you really believe we're actually related to that guy?
Grandpa says we were.
I've met your grandfather, and he was a liar.
It was given to my dad when he was a young child, so it's been in a box for about 70 years. My parents just celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary, and I would like to send them on a trip if possible. I'm really hopeful that this is going to be my lucky day.
You know your grandfather's middle name is Benjamin, and your great-grandfather's middle name was Benjamin. They were named after him, I believe.
Whatever.
You see any resemblance?
I do.
Yeah, he's bald, and he's got a gray beard.
All in all, a pretty good president. He passed the Sherman antitrust law to try and beat up the monopolies, but it was another 20 years later with Teddy Roosevelt who really started cleaning up the trusts. Where did you get it?
Well, we had it in our family for about 70 years. It was part of a photo album, and this one was signed.
Okay, this is a cabinet card. They were pretty popular from like the late 1860s to right around 1900. So a lot of people had the picture of the president in their house. How much do you want for it?
500.
I doubt if that's a signature. I'm just assuming it's someone just wrote it on there so they know who it was.
I mean, that looks like a signature.
Well, remember, they didn't print anything. Everything was written. I'll call somebody down here, but if it's not a signature, it's worth like 10 bucks. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Most cabinet cards aren't worth the paper they're printed on. So normally, this would be a pass. But a cabinet card actually signed by a president, now that's a different story. And not just because, supposedly, I'm related to this guy. Benjamin Harrison.
Our 23rd president.
According to my grandma, he's a relative of mine.
They look identical, don't they?
No comment. This size of photograph is known as a cabinet card because it was large enough that you put in your cabinet, and if you're sitting on your sofa in your parlor, somebody could see it without squinting. Cabinet cards today are actually relatively common. I've gone to book and photography shows where some dealers have binders and binders. They can be of people, they can be of scenes, and they do remain relatively durable.
Is that his signature?
Okay, well, there are two questions I have to answer first. Sometimes when these were printed up, the signature of the person was printed on at the same time. So I have to make sure that this is actually signed in ink. So I'm just gonna look through here. Yes, and it does appear to be signed in ink. It's not a printed on signature. Now, the second question is it actually the signature of President Benjamin Harrison? And I brought along some examples here. And there are a few things I look for with the Benjamin Harrison. First, there's about a 30-degree slant on a signature. So I'm gonna come over here and look. And the slant is about 30 degrees to the right, which is the way it is here. He usually signed B-E-N-J and then Harrison in full afterwards. And he has this funny little blip in the middle of the B. Now, if you look carefully, you see that little blip in the B, which is similar to right over here.
What do you think?
Well, after looking at it, Rick, I do believe this was signed by President Benjamin Harrison himself.
Oh, wow.
Okay, sweet.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So what do you think it's worth?
Well, there is one little condition with this. So if you see along here, there are all those extra lines. I don't think this is a first-generation photograph. In a first-generation photograph, the lines are very, very sharp. What some photographers did is they would take photographs of previous photographs and keep reproducing it that way. This is probably second or third generation, which makes it worth a little bit less. I do think a fair retail price for this would probably be about $1,250.
Wow. I didn't think it would be worth that much. That's great.
Yeah, people who collect presidents and presidential signed photographs would have an interest in it. They're not common items by any stretch of the imagination. It's a nice little piece of American history here.
Yeah, it really is. Wow.
Hey, thanks for coming in, man.
Anytime, Rick.
Appreciate
Nice
it,
to see you
man.
again, Corey. Good luck with it.
Thank you. So,
So $500, no problem.
can you go a little bit higher?
I give you like $700 for it. That's the best I could do on it.
Really? Could you do 8?
Really? You just wanted 5, and now I'm offering you 7.
Right.
I have to frame it up. I have to do some other things.
Could you do 750?
I guess we really shouldn't have called Stewart in, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I'll give you the 750.
It's a deal. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, you want to write her up, son?
Come with me.
I feel that we settled on a really good price of $750. I feel that that was a fair price. It's all about the Benjamins.
I have this big espresso machine outside. Can someone give me a hand with it?
Because this guy needs help getting the espresso machine out.
Get your big ass outside and help him, dude.
I decided to go in the pawn shop today to sell my Astra Mega 1 espresso machine. My grandparents own a donut shop, and the clients just aren't into espresso, so they gave it to me. I have no use for it. It's too big for my house, so looking to get rid of it.
Tell me a little bit about it.
This thing's practically brand new, commercial grade. It's top of the line. Puts out about 240 cups an hour. Also, I have this grinder, commercial grade grinder.
Why don't you come around here and show me how the thing works?
Okay.
I don't know much about coffee makers at all, but I do know that I've seen Astras in just about every high-end restaurant I've been in. So, I mean, they've got to be worth something.
The espresso comes out here. You got your steamer here for milk, hot water here,
All right.
and you're ready to go.
This is sweet because
I'm going to find you a new job with it. You're going to be running the Gold and Silver coffee shop.
probably wake the old man up with all that espresso.
Yeah, probably.
I already make coffee every morning. With this thing, I can make it in no time.
What are you looking to do with it, man? Pawn it or sell it?
I'm looking to sell it.
And how much are you trying to get?
4,500.
The only way you're going to get 45 out of this thing is if this thing prints money, man. It's in good shape, but it's still used. And I can buy an Astra Mega 1 for around $1,500 on the internet.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking around $1,300, and I get the grinder.
How about 15 with the grinder?
I can jump it up to $1,400, but that's really going to be the best I can do.
No. I mean, it's too big to use in my house, so I guess I'll have to take it.
All right, buddy. Let's go do some paperwork.
All right.
I've got a few friends in the restaurant business that I know would want to buy this, but in the meantime, I'm going to just let Chum try to figure it out.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. When you walked in, I thought that was a cake.
I've got a diamond tiara,
Okay.
and it was formerly owned by Ida McKinley.
God, this is pretty amazing.
Who's Ida McKinley?
She was President McKinley's wife. There was stories about how he treated his wife better than any other person in Washington. If you said anything bad about his wife, you were immediately fired. I mean, there was just no two ways about it.
I'm here on behalf of my brothers. This piece was passed down to them. It was made by Dreiser and Son, a very prominent jewelry artist, and it's 220 diamonds. I'm asking $75,000. Would really like to stay pretty close to that number. 65, 70 might be able to do it.
Very, very interesting story. I'm surprised there hasn't been a book or a movie. She's was the only first lady with epilepsy.
Right.
It's a weird thing. I probably know more about Ida McKinley than I do about McKinley because I had epilepsy when I was a kid. As a kid with epilepsy, I researched people with the condition, and there was a lot of famous people. Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Edgar Allan Poe, and Ida McKinley. So I'm really interested in this piece. Basically what we have a tiara that these things bolt onto.
Right, correct.
Okay? But also on the back, you have these little clips like this, so they can be a brooch also.
Exactly.
All right, now, it's really nice work, I'll tell you that. I mean, it seems from the time period, You know, just intrinsic value here, diamonds and gold, you have like $6,000 or $7,000.
Wow, okay.
So what do you want to do with this?
I'd like to sell it. It's been passed down to my 3 brothers, and it's something that's kind of hard to split into 3s.
Okay, so they stuck you with the job of trying to find someone to buy it?
Exactly, exactly.
What were you looking to get out of it?
$75,000.
I really, really like it. It's just putting a value on it is difficult.
But it's a multifaceted piece.
I agree with you. There's a lot more here than just diamonds and gold. It's got a story with it.
Right.
It belonged to a celebrity. So let me call my buddy Greg up. He deals in just really elaborate vintage jewelry. He will look at it, and we will try and figure something out. Okay?
Looking forward to it.
I love this piece. I know it's worth more than the parts. The question is, how much more?
Oh, there it is.
It's like the crown jewels of the United States.
It's an interesting looking piece. I'm the owner of Fred Layton. We specialize in vintage and antique jewelry, and we help people understand jewelry in the context of historical periods and also understand value. Late 1800s, you saw a lot of jewelry in nature motifs, a lot of bird feathers, wings. Pieces like this were quite popular. The diamonds are fine quality for the period. They're what you would expect to see. The idea that this was convertible and has the fittings for both the brooch and also the tiara, and I think that's kind of neat. So the question becomes, what do we know about the provenance? How can we substantiate the provenance of the piece itself?
It's seen in this official White House First Lady photograph. This is one of the events that was going on at the McKinley Museum, and it's featured there.
Well, certainly it does link in a fairly official way this piece to Ida McKinley. You know, how much value that adds it's a little bit of open to interpretation.
What would it go in your store?
Well, I think in a retail store like Fred Layton, we would see this piece sell for $75,000.
Okay, sort of what he's wanting. So we're gonna have to talk a little bit, but thanks, man, I appreciate it.
My pleasure. There are many collectors, people who have a fashionable sense of style, who would actually really appreciate that piece, both as a piece of jewelry and also because of its history.
So what are you thinking?
I'll give you 35 grand.
It's a lot of money. After hearing what he has to say, I think we've got to get more. You know, if it does retail for 75.
You're not gonna be able to retail it. I mean, what's your bottom dollar?
I think I've got to stick around up at the 75,000
There's
mark.
no way. There's no way. There's very, very few people in this world who can pull that money out of their pocket and buy a tiara.
I gotcha. What's the best you can do?
40.
I think we're probably a little bit too far apart at this point right now, but could I ever come back?
You can come back. You know what I mean?
The offer stand?
No. No, economies change.
Yeah,
I mean, they really
understand.
do. I mean, I'd go 43. That would be it. 43 is a fair offer.
That's a great offer, and I appreciate it. I'll be back in touch with you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you very much.
You know, I got a little lost in the history in this thing. I'd love to have it, but the most I can go was 43,000. Any more will just be gambling. Hey, how can I help you?
Good, how you doing? I have a clock lighter that I found at my grandfather's house.
Every lighter should have a clock on it. You can really burn some time with that.
I decided to come down to the pawn shop today to try and sell my great-grandfather's lighter. I didn't need it, so I just came down to try and make a little money. I'd like to get $2,000 for the watch if I could. I'd probably would be willing to walk out of here for $1,000.
So do you know anything about it?
I don't know a whole lot about it at all, no.
This is neat. This is a 1930s Dunhill lighter. Dunhill's an English company, but I believe their lighters were made in Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland. And in the 1930s, we had a depression going on. Not a lot of these were sold, and you had to be very well off to get one. It was like $100 in the 1930s, which right now is like $7,000.
Go Grandpa.
Dunhill is a British company that's been making high-end accessories for men since the late 1800s. And their lighters have always been their most popular item. Of course, now they make a gold lighter that sells for over 13 grand.
It's a pretty good idea. Something like MacGyver would have.
It was made in the 1930s.
Oh, James Bond.
Let's see if the clock works. It works. It's 80 years later, and everything still works on it. As far as collectible lighters go, Dunhill is it. This is the one to have. It's really rare.
That's great.
Just this lighter by itself in really good shape, without the watch in it, they go for like $1,000. And in really good shape, they go for like $2,500.
Super.
Okay, now we have this problem right here. It's beat to hell. That might just look like a little dent back there, but it's a really big issue. It's worth like $1,500 in this condition.
I get antique lighters in here all the time, but I love Dunhills. They're known for their quality, and collectors love them. I just wish this one was in better shape.
What were you looking to do with it?
I was looking to sell it.
How much did you want for it?
I was looking $2,000.
$2,000's not gonna happen. It's more like $1,000.
We just said it was $1,500.
You go open up your own store and, hire some employees, do a little advertising, sell it in your store for $1,500.
Boy, I really would like to get 12 for it. I disagree with you. The dent just gives it character.
My best price is $1,100. That is the best I can do.
The best. You're not,
The
nothing
best.
more.
Nothing more.
Not a nickel more.
Not a nickel more. I'll let you walk for a nickel.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. All right, go write them up, chum, and don't play with it.
When he first offered me $1,000 for it, I thought he was being a cheap ass. But, we settled on $1,100, and I'm happy with it.
So what do we have here?
British medals. 1 military medal and 3 chivalry medals.
Okay, pretty cool. All of Europe, they were really, really big on their medals, especially England. I mean, if you look at pictures like 100 years ago, some of these people had so many medals, it would give you a bad back.
I'm at the pawn shop today to try to sell my British medals. I picked these up at a thrift shop in England. When I saw these medals, I had to have them because I knew it was a rare find. This was history. You're never going to find these again. I'm hoping to get $3,000 for all 4 medals.
This is interesting. British medals, it's a really complicated system because there was civilian ones, there was military ones, there's different orders, and they also had 20 degrees of each medal. And there's so many different ones. Every time there was a new king or queen of England, they would come up with a new medal. So tell me exactly what you have here.
All right, this medal here is the volunteer decoration for 20 years of service by an officer in the British Army. 3 other medals are chivalric medals, the Royal Victorian Order, the Order of the Bath, and the Commander of the British Empire. Those were given for services to the sovereign.
Okay. So, how much do you want for all these?
$3,000.
All right. It seems like you know a lot about these things.
Oh, yes.
I just want to know for sure exactly what they are. There's a really, really big collector market, and I know these can be worth a lot of money. So, do you mind if I have my one buddy take a look at them? He literally will know everything there is to know about these. I really trust him. So if you can hang out for a few minutes, I'll go grab them.
Sure.
I'll be right back. 55 years old, never got a medal for anything. Maybe Royal Order of the Pawn? See what we got here?
Ah, very nice. Well, let's take them one at a time. This is the Volunteer Officer's Decoration. After you've done 20 years in the Volunteer Army, you were awarded this. This award only existed between 1892 and 1908, when the volunteer service became the Territorial Army. And this award ceased to exist.
Okay.
This is very nice. We have the Order of the Bath. The interesting thing about the Order of the Bath was it was instituted by George I, and it had to do with bathing, purity, all of that. It still exists today. The Order of the Bath is a big deal. It's just a high-ranking order that is issued by the monarch, and that's a big deal. This is the commander of the Order of the British Empire. This was issued both to military and civilians for either cultural service or military service. It's the one that, when you see the Beatles getting a medal, it's given for a major service to the empire. And this is, very nice, Royal Victorian. Now, this one is either military or civilian for what, I don't know. You know, you'd have to look up that particular serial number if you can get the records and find out who it was awarded to and for what.
Okay, so what do you think?
These are actually in very nice condition, and the boxes are also in very nice condition. That's something that, after this many years, you often don't see them in this nice a shape.
Well, thanks for all the info. You're the
Not
best.
a problem. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you $1,500 for them.
In the middle, make it 2,200.
Nope. I'm thinking I'll probably get $2,500 out of these things.
What's the best you think you could do?
1,600.
Make it 17, we'll have a deal.
$16.25.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. $16.25. I'll meet you right over there, and I'll get you paid.
Okay.
Is there a medal for negotiating skills?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how you doing? I wanted to know if you, by any chance, have any old Nevada prison tokens for sale.
Not at the moment.
Okay, let me flip it around. How would you like to buy some old Nevada prison tokens? They're very hard to find.
You know what? I don't have any plans of going to jail in my life, so.
Okay. What makes these prison tokens really special is that Nevada had a casino that operated inside the maximum security prison. To my knowledge, that didn't happen anywhere else in the United States but Carson City, Nevada. I'm walking in with $1.41 face value in old Nevada prison tokens, and I'm hoping to walk away with a lot more than that.
They're pretty rare, considering that you pretty much had to go to prison between the 1930s and 60s to be able to have access to them.
Right.
You know, the last thing they wanted you to have in there was cash. But the funny thing is, in Nevada history, to operate a table game, you are not allowed to be a felon. They somehow had a casino in the prison that was ran exclusively by felons. And it worked. You know, the guy who was operating the table, he could then take these and go spin them throughout the prison, chewing gum, or I'm sure somebody was taking these for toilet wine he was taking.
This is just a little documentation, just kind of shows, you know, what the inside of the casino looked like.
Wow. It looks like they actually even got one of the old craps tables out of the sands, if you look at it. It says sands on it. You know, the inmates look like they're having a good time.
Better than breaking rocks, jeez.
The casino at the Nevada State Prison is just legendary. Where else in the world would a bunch of criminals get to run a legitimate gaming place? And they got away with it for over 3 decades. How much money you want for them?
I'd like to get about $850 for the stack.
I don't have a doubt in my mind that I could sell them. I think $850 is just way off, man. We're way far apart on what I'm willing to pay.
900?
I was thinking more around the range of 4.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna need you to do better than $400. I mean, honestly, these are really tough to find. This guy right here, there's probably only 5 on the planet.
Okay.
And these, I figure, are easily $100, $125 each.
I'll go $450.
How about 6.5? I mean, in your shop, being in Nevada, you would have a perfect place because no one else is gonna have these.
500 is the best I could do, buddy.
Let's go ahead and do it.
All right, man, deal.
All right.
Meet me over there.
I'm walking away today with $500, and I'm gonna put this in the vacation fund and take my wife to Maui.
Earlier, we got a call from a guy who wants to sell his old slot machine. So Corey and I are headed out to take a look. What is this thing?
Well, I think it's a roulette slot machine, so.
Roulette don't look nothing like that.
I called the guys down at the pawn shop to come out and look at my Piccadilly Circus slot machine. It's time to sell it, and I could use the money. I'd probably take $400, but let's see what happens.
That is definitely different. Where in the world did you get that?
I got that in town here from a dealer that was used in a casino. There's an insignia on there with some Japanese writing, so maybe it was made in Japan.
All right. It's most likely from the 60s or 70s just because of the design of it. I love this kind of technology because it's really weird inside generally, especially for something when there wasn't a large amount of them made.
You've never seen another one like it, so
I
it
have
probably
never
was.
seen one like it. it was probably the only one in Vegas. Slot machines have been around for over 100 years, and they're still by far the most popular way to gamble in Vegas. Some casinos get 70% or more of their revenue just out of slot machines. I think this is what you do. If you put 1 quarter in and you bet it on the 2, you get 2 quarters back, but if you bet 2 quarters on the 2, you get 4 back.
Yeah, that's way too complicated.
Let's bet. We put a couple quarters in there, bet as many as we want on each number.
How do you bet a 12 when there's not a 12 on that wheel?
That part I don't know. Here we go. It just paid us about $4.
We generally tend to buy a lot of slot machines because they're easy to unload. But since no one even knows how to really play this thing correctly, it's going to make it a lot harder to sell. What do you want for it?
I'm looking to get $500 for it.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $300.
400 work?
$350 and we'll make money off Chumley on this thing.
$375, we split it, we make a deal. I got about $100 worth of quarters in there.
Okay.
So that comes with the deal. You buy the machine, you get the cash that's in it.
It's up to you, son.
Guys, I think you'll do all right with it.
At $350, I don't get hurt that bad. If it takes me 2 years to sell it, I can live with that. $350, boss, that's the best I'm gonna do.
Well, I want to sell it, and I appreciate you coming out. So I'll take the $350.
Sounds good, boss. I appreciate it.
I was hoping to get a little bit more money, but the offer was fair. I can take the cash and move on and do what I want to do with that.
Hey, can you help me carry this in?
Sure.
Thank you.
Rick, I got something for you to look at.
All right, what have we got here?
We have a lithograph from Al Hirschfeld. As you can see, Charlie Chaplin.
Dude, I love Charlie Chaplin.
Why aren't you sweeping?
Because you know how much I like art? Just wanted to check out this item and learn a little bit of history.
Yeah, it's a good history lesson.
Actually, he doesn't like sweeping floors.
Oh, okay. I like Al Hirschfeld's art because it represents the world of music, entertainment, Broadway. I purchased it for $3,900, and I'm planning on walking out with a profit today.
God, it's cool. You know anything about it?
This one is titled The End, and Al Hirschfeld died in January of '03. This was done in '02.
Doesn't really look like the end. I mean, he's smelling a flower and he has a cane made of hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Really, chum? He was a really interesting guy. He was really known for his playbills for all the plays on Broadway. He did The New Yorker, The Times, and he literally, for over 70 years, that's how he made his living, just drawing pictures. Al Hirschfeld is one of those guys where if you don't recognize his name, you'll definitely recognize his art. This guy was a legend in New York, and if he drew you, you knew you had arrived.
I wanted to also show you something else, which is a very fun piece of his artwork. He does it in every single drawing. His daughter's name is Nina.
Mm-hmm.
So see if you can find where it's hidden. Very good.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, sort of like his trademark.
Yes.
Even during World War II, bomber pilots, part of their training was they would show their bomber pilots pictures of Hirschfeld and say, find the Ninas. It was sort of like a training program to help them notice the smallest things.
Details.
So when did you buy this?
The day he died.
The day he died. All right. And how much you want for it?
$5,000.
All right, okay. I can tell you did like the massive the huge mega mistake with art. Never buy it on the day a guy dies. Because everyone marks it up like crazy. I'm gonna call somebody in. I'm gonna have them take a look at it. I just wanna see what his stuff is going for now.
You don't think it's real?
I think it's real, I believe it's real. My problem is I wanna know what he's like in the market and how long this takes to sell. I mean, quite frankly, if it's gonna take me 5 or 6 years to sell it, I don't want it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go give him a jingle. You sweep the floor.
Yeah, I'm on that.
This is the Hirschfeld.
Yes,
Very
the
nice.
one.
What do you think?
I like it. I like it. Charlie Chaplin, the little tramp.
The
walking
little
off.
tramp?
That's
Watch your language in here. We have customers.
Okay, the word has changed a little bit over the years. It used to mean like a homeless person, something like that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is, I think, the last limited edition print that Hirschfeld ever did.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Very apropos. You've got Charlie Chaplin kind of walking off into the sunset. I know he did that on a lot of his films at the end. A lot of people don't know this, but Charlie Chaplin actually knew Hirschfeld.
Oh, I didn't
As a matter of fact, Chaplin was one of his very first customers.
Okay, that is definitely cool.
Hirschfeld did his caricatures for the better part of 80 years, which is amazing. And really, his quality from the time he started doing it in the 1920s to his passing really never wavered. It was always identifiable as a Hirschfeld.
So how long would it take him to doodle a piece like this?
You know, he was pretty quick. Caricatures a lot of times can be kind of garish and grotesque, but he always, you know, did charming works. You know, you always looked at him and smiled, and this piece is no exception. Rick, did you have some concerns, or?
What, is this stuff still selling?
Yeah, I mean, he's an artist that is going to stand the test of time.
So what do you think it's worth?
That's the big question. I would say in a gallery setting, especially one on the East Coast where he's most renowned, you'd probably be looking at $4,000 to $6,000.
Thanks, man. You're
Hey,
the
Rick,
best.
always a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks, chum. I think the real genius of Hirschfeld was just his ability to capture the essence of a performer quickly. And he captured it in a really loving, fun way that I think people responded to.
He said $4,000 to $6,000 is what it would sell for in a gallery. Okay, I'd give you like $2,000.
Well, he said 4 to 6. You know, I would like to get at least 4,000.
Okay, I cannot buy it off you for $4,000 and sell it for $4,000 to keep the doors open.
Right.
You know, it's.
He said 4 to 6, so there is some profit margin.
Okay, I have to assume I'm probably going to get 4. I'll probably market $5 grand, $6 grand. People walk in, they bargain. I'd go like, I mean, I'd go like 22.
22, 25.
I mean, I'll go 23.
How about, I'm 25, you're 23, 24. We're both happy.
2,300 is what I could do.
Come on, just go up a little bit.
2,300 is the best I'm going to do.
Okay, well, if that's your best offer, I'll take it.
Oh, you'll take it? Okay. I thought you were going to walk out the door.
It was that close.
All right, well, cool. Chum, go right her up, then sweep the floor.
I'll meet you at the counter. You can leave this here. I already swept the floor.
Thank you.
So I'm glad this worked out. It's going to look great on the wall in the pawn shop, and hopefully it'll be a quick seller.